Sticks and stones will break my bones, but will words never hurt me? Me?
Take two?
Yeah,
It
having audio issues.
was a
Take two.
practice. It was a practice run.
Here we go. Sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me? The A Show.
Where smart is the new sexy.
And now, April Hunter.
Hi everyone, welcome to the A Show. Thanks. We were just trying out a new entry there, and we decided to try it twice. Thanks for being patient. It was me. I was doing my hair. That's why I was a few minutes late. The guys, obviously, their hair is done.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah,
look beautiful. You look
I'm all set. By the way, it was my fault. I messed up. I'm sorry, April. Please forgive me.
So hi to everybody to join us, and I'm joined with my co-host and producer, Big Ray Hernandez.
That's me.
And today I am super excited. I'm so excited to welcome life coach and neuro-linguistic programming expert, Derrick Chappell. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us what is, now this is a big mouthful, neuro-linguistic programming.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Before Derrick does that, do we do the applause thing? Should we let everybody just bring them in?
Yeah. Yes.
Applause.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Derrick. Wonderful.
I'm applauding.
What a
That's all I
smile.
got. Thank you.
What a smile. Welcome to the show. Oh, man, so many people here. Okay, so Derrick, as she was asking.
Neurolinguistic programming. What is it? It is a mouthful. And basically it breaks down to neuro is your neurology. Linguistic is going to be your language, and then programming. Just like you think about like a computer program.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, humans we have brains, right? And those things can be programmed. And they're being programmed all the time, a lot of times without us even knowing it. So the whole idea of NLP is using using some techniques and modalities that will help you change your behavior, change your language, and change how you interact with people. So
Okay.
that's NLP in a nutshell.
Okay.
Has to do a lot with words and how they're used with us subconsciously.
So, okay. So in your, okay. So you just said how they're used subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
How do you mean that exactly?
So the topic you have on your show is sticks and stones will break my bones. Words will never hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's perfect as it relates to NLP because words actually can hurt you or they can help you. It just really depends on how you use them.
Huh.
And so when you think about all the words that we use on a daily basis, or all the words that we hear on a daily basis, we don't really think about how they affect us. A lot of the times it just goes right into your subconscious. Think about, for example, it's used in advertising all the time. NLP techniques are used in advertising all day long. So when there's a car commercial and they are trying to sell you this beautiful, sexy car, right? They throw all these adjectives out there. They use words like feeling or imagine you driving down the road in this whatever car, right? They're they're throwing out words to make you think about actually putting yourself in that position, and it messes with your emotions essentially. So that's what they're after. They're after your emotions because we make decisions based off of our emotions.
Hold on. Is this like on the TV shows? Like in the old TV shows, like the comedies, when the husband wants to get the wife to allow him to buy like a big screen TV. So while she's sleeping, he's like talking to her. He's like, baby, let me buy a big screen. And he just does it over and over again. And he finds a way to like kind of do it like subliminally.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the same thing. It does really kind of go with hypnosis. So because when you're trying to change somebody's behavior patterns, the easiest way to do it, the least resistance, is through the subconscious, because your conscious will try to fight. That's why it's so hard to like go on a diet or lose weight or start exercising. is because you're trying to do it on the conscious level versus trying to change it on a subconscious level. It becomes a little bit easier. You kind of slip in the back door.
So
Okay.
so what you're saying is, well, my wife is basically sleeping. I can get her to do whatever I want.
Now,
Yeah, you sitting there going,
Huh?
you love anal sex.
Right.
You want
Right.
it so
Right.
bad.
Yes.
I don't know if that's going to work out for
Oh.
you, Ray, but just give it a go.
What about like bringing your cousin? No, that's not gonna happen.
I mean,
More power to you
I'm
guys.
not saying that it couldn't work,
Okay, good.
but I will have to add, as an NLP coach, I will have to
Yes.
say you should use this technique ethically.
Oh, for the power of
I
good.
have to throw out that disclaimer.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fine.
I suppose if it doesn't hurt anybody, it's ethical, right? Like the advertisers are using it ethically. I'm 100% sure.
Oh, 1000%. Of course they are.
I mean, they're using it ethically for themselves, and
Right.
no, they're not hurting anyone except our
Of course
pockets.
not. Our pockets, our wallets,
Pockets,
our
that's it,
self-esteem. And let me say hi to everybody here. War Demon, Eva, Felipe. Am I saying that correctly? AB
Felipe.
Twitch, Gan Wolfers, Fred. Hi, welcome. It's very nice to see you guys in here today.
Morgan,
So-
Big Wig 28's here. Alex
Oh,
RX
yeah.
is here. Speedway 95. What is it? 95,
Oh, I missed some people.
94.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Ali.
Winona's here.
Oh, no.
We have a bunch. They're going to slowly trickle in as we continue to go live here. And again, guys, I have to apologize. It was my fault at the beginning of the show. I'm just,
Ray was doing his hair.
Yeah, it was.
It's
Takes
okay.
a while. You
don't have
don't
to
just
take
wake up like this.
Yeah.
So it's oh God, you said something earlier, and I was okay. So
See,
earlier,
what happened was I NLP'd you.
you
See?
probably did, and I just went whoop.
Just erased your mind. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to jump in with a dark-ism on this.
Yes.
So I was watching something on Instagram, and I went back and I searched for it, and I couldn't find it. And of course, whenever you look for something on social media, it could be that it was deleted, especially when it's on this nature. But there was something somebody dug out from, I don't know how many years ago. I want to say it was like 2011, maybe. But there was, I want to say it was a ceremony. And they were talking about the fact that the ceremony was done, ceremonies are being done in front of us using language, and that language carries weight and vibration. Everything that we say, once we put words out in there into the universe, and certain words mean more put together, we give them vibration, we give them power. So there was something done on an athletic field, and they were carrying in these I don't even know how to describe it. It was a ceremony, and they carried in something that looked like a coronavirus, and they passed it around, right? And then all of a sudden the dancers on the field started dropping dead.
Were they coughing on it?
It looked like a ceremony
To pass
where they
corona
were
around?
celebrating a virus coming in and killing people.
What?
And the subtitles on there was, look, they did it right in front of us, and they have to do these ceremonies in front of us because they need the energy of the people in order to make them happen.
Mm-hmm.
So this sounds like some witchy stuff.
Not really, because also in I'm just gonna jump in real quick, Derek and April. Also in the Christian faith, right? In the Christian faith, there is a passage in the Bible that says, "When two or three come into agreement, I am there." So basically, when two or three are praying about the same thing, when you're all doing this,
The energy,
gathering
right?
that power, the energy together, you're all showing the same faith. Boom, things happen. So I can
imagine
see that
200 and 300,000 or 200 and 300 million, like a Super Bowl thing,
Jeez,
like a
Derek.
halftime show.
Collective consciousness. Absolutely. Yeah. The
So
more people you get focused on a specific words or phrases or energy, even though it may seem, no big deal. I mean, it does carry a lot of power.
we here in Florida like to joke around when a hurricane misses us and say that we prayed it all away. We prayed the storm away. But I wonder, after seeing that and studying more and more about energy and words and
Well,
how
on that,
everything's
on that
negative or
same
positive.
note, if you look at, I don't know if you've heard that the Native Americans put a blessing on the Tampa Bay area like some 100 years ago
Oh
to
yeah.
protect this area from hurricanes.
Mhm.
And as far as my knowledge, there hasn't been a hurricane that's directly hit Tampa Bay in about that long. I don't know. Do you
No,
guys
does that
know?
expire? Like, because I can move.
Um,
Hopefully that doesn't expire. That was a Seminole, right?
I believe it was the Seminoles. Yeah.
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 Mhm. I hope there's no expiration date on that, or can we like renew that contract? I don't know how that works. Let's go over to Hard Rock Cafe.
Right. We need to make sure we get that lease renewed.
Yes, please.
So
So
is there a tie-in between what you do and what you say spirituality or bringing spirits in to help certain things happen, or is it all up here in the brain?
Is there a time?
I
Hmm.
don't know what you mean.
Like, is there a connection? Do you believe in a connection between the spiritual and the physical? Like when you're trying to speak, because certain people, like I'm going to use religion again. Certain people will say using or saying things, uttering things into existence will bring things into existence.
Mm.
So
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
manifesting,
like
basically. Manifesting?
manifest.
Okay.
So what are the tie-ins, or that's why I meant tie-ins. Maybe my New York is coming out. I'm saying tie-ins. You're like, what the heck is that? These are two separate
Italians? Did
words.
you just say Italians?
Two separate words. I like
At
some
least you didn't
Italian
say
words.
Italian. Good
But
Lord.
but I'm so interested, Derek, because there's so many different. There's so many different.
Those Italians.
I love Italian. Have you ever had Italian ices? They're wonderful.
I'm a Guido, yes.
Oh yeah, how you
Yeah.
doing? Anyway, but Derek, yes. So, is there a tie-in between the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual? Like, what are all these different facets of what you do?
Yeah, 1000%. It's all tied in and related together. Your emotional, especially. And when you think about words too, it's not just the words that you're speaking, it's the words that you're thinking as well. So, if you're one of those people like myself that, have conversations, daily conversations in your head, um, what are those conversations like? And if those conversations are mostly negative, then you can best believe that those things are probably manifesting in your life.
Mm,
You know,
Mm,
those negative things. But it can just be the same way on the opposite.
right.
That's why they have, you know, affirmations. That's why people say affirmations because words are powerful. And
it's
the
funny.
more you say those things, the more it actually turns into reality.
I love what
We are literally creating our reality with words all
I
the
love
time.
what Big Wig says here. It says, "Tell a story enough times, and you'll begin to believe it, even if it isn't true."
The news does that all the time.
1000%.
You
Yep.
So
think?
you say about affirmations, right? I'm not a big fan of affirmations, but I saw one the other day. And if you're not big into affirmations, you might like this one. Here's a simple 3-word affirmation. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
I think Thomas the Train said that as well.
I don't know. But
No, he sure did.
when
I was
stuff
there.
gets tough, you would just say, yes, I can. So you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
just tell yourself, that's your story. You tell yourself, yes, I can.
And the negative is no, I can't.
Shut
People
up,
do that
Ray.
usually.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well,
that's the battle, right? That's literally the battle that goes on in most people's heads when it comes to making a decision on a lot of different things, in their lives. When you want to make changes, you've got one part, it's like the devil and the angel on the shoulders. You got one saying that you can't do it, you got the other one saying that you can do it, and that's the battle. Who are you going to listen to?
War Demon jumps in real quick and he says that this is why he deleted social media. And
Yeah.
I would believe, Derek and April, that social media has had an incredible effect in the mind and what you do and what you study there, Derek, over the last, I would say it's increased probably 80, I'm just doing about 80 to 90% over the time, over the last, 12, 15 years. How does that affect, like how does social media, because, people, unfortunately, and I joke around a lot, guys, but a lot of people have ended up hurting themselves
Mhm.
because of words not even physically uttered, but typed on a virtual screen. What do you think about that, guys?
No, you're absolutely right. That is 100. I mean, I have seen stories about, uh, kids in high school and junior high committing suicide because they have been bullied on social media. So yeah, your words do actually, they do carry weight, and especially if they're you don't know how to handle the words, right? Like if you pay attention to, if you watch a lot of news, for example, you think about the type of words that are being used in the news. They say things that will have you believe that the world is ending tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
Catastrophic.
Fact.
It
Yeah.
is just an apocalypse.
Mhm.
They use these huge words that are just completely, it triggers.
They used to trigger your emotion.
Yeah, there you go. Trigger your
And
emotions.
I
That's right.
agree with you. I think the news takes a page, and as Chuck said, only if you allow it to influence you.
I was about to put
Mhm.
that
But
up there.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
but the news has taken a page out of the pro wrestling playbook, where instead of making you think, they want to make you emotional.
Mhm.
So when you come away from the news, you're usually angry and upset and stressed out, and you're just like, and I feel like when you're putting that energy out, and everybody's putting that energy out into the world, the collective is not doing well. And I feel like that's by design.
Oh, 1,000.
Uh,
I believe that too.
and when you use emotion behind your words, it's got it's even more. You know what I'm saying? It's how am I trying to phrase this? I'm not doing a very good job. You know what I'm trying to
Well,
say, that right?
You're doing
I
just
think
fine.
it increases anxiety,
Hmm.
all across the board. If you look at what happened in the beginning of the whole pandemic, said that with a PL, just in case you didn't realize that.
All right, I think we're here, guys.
Yeah, I do. I think
At the
this
beginning of the
this
pandemic,
is a page we're all on.
you think about the messages that they were sending out. It was just all fear based.
Mm.
And
It's terror. It
people
still is. They're still trying to.
how many people just had super high anxiety that entire time? They didn't know what to believe, who to believe.
Go into the grocery
Um,
store. It's just like, oh my God, we're taking our life into our own hands. Just going to get some groceries.
Derrick, I work a job where I'm dealing with people every day.
I'm sorry.
I travel every day. I like people though. I travel every day. I
Yeah.
handle packages. I go into people's homes to help fix things. The first couple of months of that pandemic were some of the most stressful months I have ever spent in my entire life because we didn't know anything. And all we knew was turning on the TV and I seen Governor Cuomo
By
s-
design.
saying all this stuff about how many people are dying over here and this is all we got. And we never got anything positive, nothing happy, nothing good. It was perpetual.
We
No,
did. We had nurses and doctors dressed up
oh,
dancing in the
kill me.
hallways.
Listen, we had freaking. Listen, Derrick.
propaganda.
Oh, let me calm down. You hear my octave getting up higher.
Don't calm down. This
It
is
was.
why
It
this
was
is what
just
this is used for.
Derrick. It was very frustrating, April. It was very, very
Oh,
frustrating,
I
and
know. We can all relate.
I started drinking. Everybody started drinking. It was
Mhm.
terrible. It was a terrible time on this earth, Derrick.
I remember I would walk because the gyms were closed, right? I would go outside and walk. And I remember all I smelled outside in my neighborhood was dryer sheets, like dryer stuff, and weed. It was like the smell
Well, the
of
weed's okay.
quarantine.
The
It
weed's
was like,
okay,
yeah, the smell of quarantine was just weed and laundry.
right?
Because that's
And
all
The weed
anybody
is
was doing
actually
was
what killed off
laundry, and
COVID.
they were just high and doing
wait,
laundry.
say that
So
again,
go on.
Derrick.
Huh?
I said the weed is actually what killed off COVID.
It probably
Probably.
did.
Probably. It
I'll
kills
tell
off
you what,
everything
it did
else.
kill off. It killed off my goddamn anxiety.
Exactly.
It really did. Actually,
Right. It
this is the
either
first.
increased it or killed it off, right?
This is the first time I went to a doctor. Right during this time when my blood pressure was going up really high, and I went to the doctor and I was like, "Listen, I think I'm gonna start smoking a joint maybe once a day or something." He's like, "Yeah, do it." I was like,
Okay.
"What? This is doctor telling me?" Yeah, and guess what? It got me through some time. Not I would have a couple of drags of that joint, decompress, just try to focus in on listening to some. I listen to ASMR, by the way. I don't know if are you familiar with that, Derrick? Yes, ASMR. I love
Oh,
ASMR.
okay. We were actually going to cover that topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really love
The
soft spoken ASMR. It's some of my favorite things. What can you tell us anything about ASMR?
Well, I don't know a lot about it. I do know it is really catching fire, though.
Oh, it is.
I saw it on White Lotus and looked it up. My friend and I were watching because the two girls were high and they're like, "You want to do ASMR?" And the girl's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Oh, it's amazing.
That's what I heard. So I wanted to
Yeah.
actually do that topic on a future podcast.
I
We
sleep.
should do like a whole ASMR show where we're just
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
whispering and
Yes.
making.
we can do that. Grab my little video game controller, tap the button.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I actually know a couple of people on. Don't do that. I'm gonna fall asleep. I know a couple of people on social media on YouTube. I can reach out to them if ever you want to come back, Eric, and just talk some ASMR. That they're ASMR artists on YouTube.
Wait, you can be an ASMR artist?
Yeah, of course, man. This thing, you can't just do this thing, man. You have to learn.
I think you can just do it.
Try different things. But anyway, back to this very interesting topic of the power of words, because I think that's what we're talking about here. Tell us something, Derrick. Tell us something that's going to blow our minds, and then eventually, I want to know how to take over the earth with what I have to say.
You want to know how to take over the earth?
Yeah, I want to be the president of the world if that's possible.
Well, you can always use what the
gotta
what
be better than
advertisement
Biden.
uses on us. It's just embedded commands. It's all they use.
All right, teach me. Let's go.
Embedded commands
Hold on.
is simply just using words that talk directly to the subliminal, right? So those words, like when you're describing things, like you're feeling good. So, like, say for example, you come home from work and your wife or your girlfriend or whatever is in a bad mood, and you want her to be in a good mood, for unselfish reasons, of course.
Give her money.
That might work.
Oh, okay.
But if that doesn't work, then you could always go and try to use embedded commands, right? This is something that should be done ethically and responsibly.
Hold on, dude. I gotta write this.
We're gonna learn some shit here.
Write this shit down. Go ahead. Go do it. What are we doing here?
Big Week says, "Baby, I won the lottery." Can work too.
So using words, "Baby, I won the lottery," that might work, and until you have to actually provide the lottery winnings.
Oh, damn
Yes.
it.
So that one's probably
I would agree with you.
not going to last very long.
Show me the money.
But just you're going to use words like, you come home and say, "Hey, baby, it's did you have a good day today?" She's gonna be like, "No, I didn't have a good day today because whatever.
Because of COVID, right?
You left your clothes on the floor in the bathroom. You didn't pick up after yourself. Whatever."
You know my wife?
You live with Ray?
you live with me? I knew somebody moved in next door. But anyway,
So you just start using words, feel good words. You think about words. I'm sure you could think of some words that make you feel good, right? Or words that make your wife feel good.
chocolate.
What's that?
She likes chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yes. Baby, you were
So you could
were
say
as tasty
something
as
like-
chocolate.
You could say something like, "Babe, wouldn't it be good if I just brought home some chocolate, that favorite chocolate that you like? That favorite chocolate that you like?"
After a while, we catch on though. We know what you're doing. And it's like, can't you just pick up your fucking clothes?
Yeah, but you could. It's like whenever my wife starts to complain, I just shove a piece of chocolate in her mouth. That's that. But that
I'm
does.
not trying to debunk your theory. I'm just saying we're not that stupid sometimes. Like we'll catch on after a while.
It works with me, and I don't mean to be vulgar here, but whenever my wife's trying to get a certain way with me, and I'm being totally transparent with you guys,
I know what you're gonna
sometimes
say.
no, it's not the oral sex thing again. But that's a big part of it. But
That works too. Always works.
But like my wife is like whenever she's trying to when she wants to go hang out or whatever, which I don't give a shit. My wife does. I let her do whatever she wants. She lets me do whatever I want, as long as we both respect each other, love each other, so on and so forth. Anyway, but I always know an ulterior motive when my wife goes, "Hey, honey, I feel like cooking for you this week. What's that extra special thing that you like? Oh, you like my veggie lasagna, don't you? Oh, you love it." And she'll talk about it. I'm like, what the fuck is this woman up to? Is she using the old Jedi mind trick with me? Is that what's going on?
Using
damn it.
some techniques of NLP on you for sure. And I think, that's pretty good actually. And it works, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Even if you know it's coming, it's like you can't stop it. You're like,
That's what she said.
okay.
Damn it. I need to harness this power, guys.
Yeah, so give us so we on Saturday at the meetup we were talking about a lot of ways that one of the things we were talking about was how words are being used. I always refer to this and call it's word magic.
Word magic.
And basically the theory, this is it's called the powers and occult definitions of words. And it's where a lot of these words come from. It's how when they're used, basically it goes from everything from using them with the energy of the people can create spells. That's why things are called spelling. TV is called programming. There's a lot more going on with us than we realize. There really are dark and light forces. We really are being controlled. We think we're free, but we're basically about as free as free-range chickens.
They're delicious. Sorry, go ahead.
But we are under the illusion that we're free, but that's basically a delusion, because we need permission to marry the person we love. We need permission to drive on the road. We need permission to buy a house. So we need permission from the government to do everything. How did this, it's basically, and how all this happened, how we are basically subjugated to our government, and the power for them keeps growing and growing and growing because they know all of this and we don't. So we're getting dumber and dumber and dumber and more manipulated and more divided, because there's a very, very vested interest in keeping us divided based on anything and everything from gender, race, Democratic versus Republican, abortion, doesn't matter, just whatever the hell.
Right, Mets versus Yankees. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter, because there are two choices always, no matter what. Because if you say, I like cats, they're going to be like, so why do you hate dogs?
Yeah.
Because that's how our brain is programmed now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I like Cardinals. Well, why do you hate Blue Jays?
Well, the Blue Jays suck. That's why.
Well, I'm just saying.
Oh.
So.
And somebody
people
put up the word TV, television, and that is another one.
Yeah, television. Exactly. So people can't see this. They're not educated enough to understand that today's warfare is psychological.
Actually, I'm going to give a different perspective on that.
Please do.
Because I think it's the opposite. I think it is actually starting to change. I think because of programs like yours, this podcast, and other podcasts out there, and other, things that are not mainstream. I think we're living in probably the best time to be alive. We are literally witnessing the unraveling of all this bullshit that we're talking about.
It's coming. I think it's coming.
It is here.
Yes, we can.
It is here. I mean, you cannot go through the social media any other day and find somebody that's getting in trouble for something, right?
Yes.
It's unraveling. The speed of information is being spread at such a fast.
It's all disinformation.
pace.
It's all misinformation.
A lot of disinformation for sure.
No, I'm talking about all the actual real information.
Oh yeah. But collectively, I think it's people that tune into shows like this, people that are researching on their own, people that are educating themselves. This is the collective consciousness that's growing, and this is the collective consciousness it takes in order to change this matrix world that we're living in.
AbTwitch23 says you guys should read Dark Lever by Akira Anzai.
I'm actually writing that down right now.
Check that out.
AB Twitch is the one that told us about the artificial wombs. So he's got some good stories.
AB Twitch is one of our loyal listeners and watchers. He's always giving us some really cool stuff. Long. I'll say what, Derrick. Long and April. Long are the days. I think you're right, and I believe you are correct, and I'll tell you why. Because long are the days where my mother and father would sit in front of a radio or a TV and say, and not question the fact that Walter Cronkite just reported this, and this is a fact. Now,
but Walter Cronkite probably did report facts for the most part.
That's how the cookie crumbled. That's not what he said. That's I'm mixing those two guys up. I think you know who I'm mixed up. But I do believe you're right, Derrick, and I'll tell you why. Because every time I turn on the television, and I'm not watching a New York Yankees game or a Knicks game or a Giants game. I usually watch sports, and unfortunately,
Give them bread and circus, and they'll not revolt. There's
goddamn
your
right.
Yankees game.
Ah,
Watch your
I
bread and circus, guys.
that's true, though. It's true.
It is true that they try and ply you with Netflix and television shows. They flooded Twitter with porn. When all this heat was going down,
Oh, I love
the
porn.
government flooded Twitter with porn to distract people.
Well, it's kind of distracting when you see a big, Anyway, so here's the deal.
It works.
I really do genuinely feel that people are questioning everything now,
Mhm.
no matter what side you're on. Because if you're an extreme liberal,
Why do you have
you're
to be
going
on
to
a
question,
side?
huh?
Why do you have to even be on a side?
But that's what I'm saying. They're. God damn it, April. You know what I mean.
Sorry.
No matter what side you're on, left or right, if you're down the middle,
You're just putting everybody in two again. We're not doing that here.
everybody is questioning everything. It's
There you
kind of the whole thing with you eat the hot dog. You don't question where the hot dog comes from. It's just delicious. But then
I definitely question where the hot dog
I
came
don't
from.
question the hot dog ever.
I'll tell you what. At this point in my life,
I
Derek,
don't want to know.
I don't give a shit. It's
Never
delicious.
question the hot dog.
It's delicious. But anyway, Derek, please. I mean, like
Hashtag.
expound upon that whole thing that now, things are kind of changing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how can you not question
The hot dog?
everything,
Well,
especially the hot dog? I mean, how can you when you get caught and just lie
Oh my God.
after
I know.
lie after lie after lie? Eventually, you're going to start saying, "Okay, all right, sure." I mean, and you should question everything. You should question everything. Look and research for yourself, right? Whether you're looking into coaching, politics, or your teacher, you got to question everything now.
Mhm.
And I think that's starting to happen more and more. And I think that's why we're able to even have these conversations. Like before, could you imagine having this conversation 15 years ago?
Yes.
Just even 15 years ago. I mean, you could, but it definitely would be a lot smaller audience, right? So I think
Yeah.
the group is growing.
But we also weren't necessarily getting dicked over. Like, well, actually, 9/11, I think, is what ushered in a
We've
lot
been
of
getting
this.
dicked over for many.
Yeah, a really
Yeah,
long time.
many,
But
many
big,
years.
big
it
stiff
wasn't
one,
as
by the way.
it wasn't as
Yeah.
super obvious. And
No
War Demon
lubrication.
War Demon says tigers rule, right? Yes, tigers rule. As a matter of fact,
Tigers are awesome.
I am still surprised that Trump didn't pardon the Tiger King. I am losing sleep over that to this day.
Oh shit, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Totally forgot about the Tiger King.
I'm laughing at these comments. These comments are hilarious.
I know we
The
haven't.
first innovator of ASMR was Bob Ross.
Oh yes. Let me tell you
I'm gonna
something.
paint you a happy little cloud over
Don't
here.
you dare be
Right
smirched.
over here.
Don't you ever besmirch the name of Bob Ross. That man.
And here's a happy little tree.
I love Bob Ross. I love listening to the strokes of his brush.
And I want to wish you all a happy little birthday.
Oh, wow.
We're just gonna paint just a little bird. Here.
You know what's crazy though? Can I bring something up to you guys? As kids, we watched Bob Ross. I'm sure you
did.
guys watched Bob Ross.
We weren't even high.
It was like one of the 6 channels we had available.
Am I wrong at the fact that we watched him and we had no idea why we were in love with listening to his voice? That's why ASMR is
I
so.
thought it was boring. It's
What?
just that there was nothing else on. I was waiting for conjunction, junction. What's
Stop
your
it.
function? It wasn't on.
So
Another show about words. Boom.
Yes. Yeah.
so you see my little background.
Yep.
Yes.
There's a reason I put this background on, and this is a very famous meme.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to show it right now.
Everything's fine.
Have you seen this? This is fine. The world's burning around us, and we convince ourselves that even though we see all this negativity, all this craziness, it's just fine. We'll just take it the way it is. We've learned, we've conditioned ourselves. I don't like to say learn. We condition ourselves to just accept everything, even though, as you can see, this poor sap is sitting amongst this fire and everything's burning down. Derek, like, how do we get past that, man?
Well, I don't think that we get past it. I think we embrace it. And we look forward to the new change. Because listen, the shit that we've been living with sucked.
Still
right?
sucks.
I think everybody can agree on that.
Remember, I live in New York. It's fucking terrible here.
So we need something different, right? And this is part of the growing pains of doing that. It's got to burn down. Burn,
But
burn.
what about the new change they're trying to burn, baby, burn? Yeah. So what about the new change
Wait,
they're
do that
trying to
again.
implement?
I couldn't
I
do
know,
that
I
again.
know,
I
I know.
missed it.
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, April. You're the
So,
best.
so what about the new change they're trying to usher in that doesn't seem so good? Like I watch a lot of stuff from other countries too. So right now, they're doing what's called C40 cities in England. In certain parts, they're also doing 15-minute cities. So, for example, in this one area, I want to say Shrewsbury or Shrewsbury, um, they are deciding it's a very old city, a lot of tourism, very, very pretty city. And what they want to do is they want to rip out all the roads to make it, zero carbon emissions of a city that has been there forever. It's one of the oldest cities, like this area that they've got a castle and everything else. They want to
Mm.
replace all the roads with just greenery. And again, this is a tourist area where people come in and they do their shopping in season and everything else.
April, I'm sorry. They're showing you some love.
Oh,
April.
Porgos. Yes, sorry. Thank you.
Boobies.
Yeah, we do
Yay!
that. We gotta
Thank
give
you, thank you,
Boobies.
thank you. Yes, biddies for titties.
Yes.
So I
Did you
appreciate
warn
it.
Derrick about this, or?
No, I did not.
Oh,
I just found out about it just now.
Yeah, he knows now.
and I don't think we have a problem with it, sir.
So
No problems here.
no, we will shake our titties for some biddies.
You don't want to
Gotta
see
make
mine.
we've got to make some money somehow or another.
You don't want to see mine. They start taking money.
Yes.
They start
But-
asking for refunds. It's terrible. Please.
Yeah, like in some areas they are turning they're trying to, and I want to say basically they're going to get rid of all the roads. They're going to use public transportation. It's probably going to kill small business because what if you can't make it to the shops? You're older, you're infirm, you can't you want to buy something and you can't carry it out because they want everybody to walk, ride a bike, take a public transportation. So basically it's going to destroy all the local shops. They want to implement all the apartment buildings.
Oof.
And what it looks like that are, it's a legend. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah, please keep your thought process.
Boobies.
Is that they're going to basically ghettoize a lot of areas by just taking all the shops and all the personality away, turn them into apartment complexes, take away the ability and the freedom to have a car. So now you can only travel on the train schedule or the local the public trans schedule.
That's what's happening here in the hood.
And
in New
you
York
have
City.
to, yeah, exactly. So in the middle of the night, you want to jump in your car and go somewhere, you cannot. You're only allowed 100 trips outside of your 15-minute city a year, or you'll be fined tremendously. This is actually already happening in England.
Where is this?
In England.
England.
They're testing it out in
In
England.
jolly old
and
England.
in a few other areas. So
So they're trying to reduce carbon emissions by
yeah, well, we're carbon. So I think they're
Bullshit.
trying to reduce us.
Check this out, Derrick and April. So I have a car.
They want a net zero by 2030.
Check this out, guys. I have a car. The only way I can drive around my car is within my area in Brooklyn. Because when I go to the city, I can't drive to work because there's no parking. There's city bikes everywhere. You know what city bikes are? There's city bikes everywhere.
Yeah, we have them here in Tampa too.
They want you to pay for city bike. I cannot go when I go see my mom on the weekends. I got to get up extra early, take the train. I cannot park. I agree with you. It's happening. It's been
Why
happening
are
here
you
though.
moving? You complain
that's
about
why
New York all the time, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm not moving until blah 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 blah."
Well, that's my wife's fault. I'll blame her.
Bring her on the show.
She won't come on. You guys would love my wife. She's amazing, but and really hot, and she has great boobies too. But I am moving, Derrick, to Florida.
Oh, lucky
Me and my
for
wife.
you, I know a good realtor out here.
Do you really?
Yes.
I
Oh,
do.
you!
His
Holy
name is
shit.
Derrick Chappell.
We are looking. As a matter of fact, you know what? Before we continue this,
But he's looking in Orlando though.
yeah,
I can drive to Orlando.
Kissimmee,
go.
Orlando, Poinciana. We're interested in those areas. But you were talking about your website here, DerrickChappell.com. We could do it again at the end of the show. And I also pulled up your website, Derrick. Here, let me just. I have the power to pull this up on the screen so we can actually show everybody. This is one of your websites here. This is Third Eye Coaching.
Yeah.
ThirdEyeCoaching.com is going to scroll up. Is there anything you'd like me to show individually? Oh, that's a nice young man there. Very handsome. What is he thinking about right there, sir?
He's thinking about changing his life through NLP.
Oh, this is wonderful. And they can book a session here?
Absolutely. Yep. Right on that button right there. Book a session. Free consultation, 30 minutes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Let me see. Oh, you go on online service. Look at that. So that's pretty easy, and everything is pretty much
pretty easy. Yes.
All right. Is there anything you want to share about this website? We'll do it again at the end of the show, but I just really wanted to give you some love here and show this here.
I appreciate it. No, it's pretty self-explanatory. Kind of goes over the services that I do there. I do a little bit of numerology, NLP. I do some tarot readings as well. So there's actually some things on there relating to 5G jewelry as well.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Protecting yourself from the 5G rays. I don't know. See, April knows.
Yeah, that came from War Demon.
Awesome.
He
awesome.
knew before I knew. He sent it to me.
Yeah, I noticed they're throwing these towers up like crazy. They're just popping up everywhere now.
Come to New York, my friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro. Me and
How
my
do they even have room to put 5G towers in?
They're putting, how they're doing it.
On
You
the
know how they
building?
started doing it?
tell them
They-
April.
They started doing it on churches. So they
Ah.
went in and made agreements with churches because the steeples are high. They could go in and pay the churches or the temples to put them on the top of their steeples.
Hey Eric,
Because
real
they're
quick.
already established.
All the
They're already
meanwhile,
at
the
height.
whole parish is just getting bombarded with 5G
Mhm.
frequencies. That's horrible.
We're gonna have to have Derrick come back on and talk about 5G, and I could
Yeah.
probably
And
bring on.
numerology.
I could bring on Billy Ray Valentine. I think this would be a great four-way, not to be
Mhm.
kinky or anything, but it is what it is. You also have an awesome podcast, and it's Raw Emotion. Why is it all broken up there? Why is it EMOTION? Why is it that way?
So emotion is an acronym that I made up, and it stands for Energy Manifesting Outcomes that Impact Our Nature.
Mm.
Oh, that's smart.
Mhm.
So that's a lot, but basically, emotion, everything that we do is emotional, even if we're not thinking about it, right? The decisions we make are emotional. And how you want to change things in your life too. It's an emotional decision. And the way to be able to manifest things quicker in your life is to have emotion behind it. So that's kind of where I came up with that.
Very cool. And I see that one of these episodes here is let me see, this 5G speed does fit the benefit outweigh the risk. I don't know about that, man. I don't think the benefit, if you really know, listen, all jokes aside, me and some of my other cohorts have been talking 5G for a long time.
Mhm.
And we knew stuff like this was coming. We were even trying to think out of the box and correlate the whole 5G, like during the coronavirus. We were wondering if a lot of these people that were fainting in China, a lot of the people that are passing away and becoming weak and their immune systems breaking down, had to do with the 5G that had been installed and weakening their immune systems and beating them up. And then this virus comes along, which is basically, in my humble opinion, just a pretty bad flu, and people getting weak. Now, what are you putting up here? It says police seize COVID-19 tech to expand global surveillance. Shit, Derrick, what do you think there, brother?
So we will cover this in a near future podcast, but there's a lot of stuff that you don't see online that are still in newspapers. So there are some really interesting stuff in here that
The
people
truth is
should
out
know
there.
about.
So I know in a lot
of
of countries overseas, 5G, they've outlawed it because either A, they know the effects that it does on people, or B, they don't know the long-term effects. So they're taking the safe route, which is, a good thing to do. And I think during the time, especially during the beginning of the pandemic, is when a lot of 5G towers went up, right? Because you got people, they're inside, they're not on the streets, and those things were just going up like crazy. And I don't know if you guys noticed too, and I don't know if they have this up in New York, if they have the lamp post with the blue, the blue light.
Yep.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think, bro, here's the thing.
I just saw a thing in the newspaper about that as well, that they're saying that that's actually really damaging. It messes with your it messes with your melatonin. It causes all kinds of problems. What's your opinion?
So blue light is bad for you. Period. That's why you have certain filters on your iPhone and on your like right now I have this the nighttime gimmick here for my computer because blue light is just fucking bad for you.
It also ages you.
Yeah, and it eats away at your corneas.
So what's your opinion, Derrick?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I mean, to me, it's just suspicious, right? If nothing else, it's suspicious because, especially, uh, I remember reports coming out at first, at least here in Tampa, they were saying the city was saying, "Oh, we're aware of the blue lights. There were some lights that we put in that were bad or something like that." They
Yeah, they're
try
turning
to,
purple, right? All those
yeah,
purple lights.
they try to blame it on it was just a bad batch of lights,
Hmm.
but they were only in
Bullshit.
certain neighborhoods, and
Let me guess
it's
what neighborhoods they were in.
No, I
mm,
had several of them in mind.
Really?
Yep, several,
So
and
they're trying.
they look like black lights,
they look like
Huh.
black lights.
black
Yeah.
lighting. Yeah,
But aren't they pretty? Well, hold on, Derek.
they're
Hold
blind. They
on.
could blind you though. They were
Hold.
so
Someone
bright.
says,
Hold on. What
yeah,
happened? You good?
yeah. Someone said they're shot spotters. I don't know what that is.
What's a shot spotter?
I
What
don't
is
know.
that?
I don't know. But anyway, aren't those lights so pretty? Don't they look nice? You can take your
Right.
wife out for a nice walk as your
Yeah.
corneas slowly burn out of your face. I
Yeah.
mean, is that what's
Well,
happening?
hey, think about this. You
What?
know how the mosquito killers, the little zap lights, maybe
Yep.
that's
That's what they
what
look
we're
like.
dealing with here.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
They're
But
trying to get
if you really want to back out and look at the big picture of things, over the past decade or two, we have increased all kinds of dangerous things with lighting, with pesticides, with the food. Our food can't be, and it's global too. So, the Georgia Guidestones where it said you need to reduce the population down to 500 million. So maybe it's just a massive effort to reduce the population down to 500 million across the board. Because all the stress that they put out, that's, it causes disease. We have nothing but disease, dis-ease, the stress, the food. I always thought that, our food and our medical was in cohorts with each other because it's creating all the sickness. Now we've got this whole manufactured COVID thing, and then we have the manufactured vaccine thing, which if you dig deep, it would seem that the vaccine was patented and available before COVID even came out.
it was. Mhm.
So yeah, 2017. So basically they created the vaccine and then created COVID so that they could unleash the vaccine. So, and these are not, hi Chowny man, welcome. These aren't conspiracy theories. If at this point, 3
They're
years
not
later,
theories.
yeah,
They're not.
at this point, 3 years later, if you really still think these are conspiracy theories, you should probably maybe go back to bed and pull the covers over your head
Listen,
because
all the conspiracy theorists, all right, or I like to call them conspiracy analysts. That's what I call
yeah,
myself.
I call them
Um,
truth seekers.
well, yeah, that works too. I think over the course of time, people are like, "Oh shit, you're right. Oh shit, you're right," but they won't admit it. They
Yeah.
will not admit it. Listen, I've gotten into conversation. I'm not going to make this into politics, but I've told my mother, all right, she is a staunch Democrat. I told my mom, listen, we vote these people in office, this, and this will happen. My brother got into an argument with me. We went back and forth, got into not a fist fight, but a really bad argument. I said, okay, come back in a year. He will not admit defeat. Even though we have people sleeping in the streets, eggs $9 a freaking carton here in New York City, gas $7, maybe at some places $6, $5, they will not admit
It's the
defeat.
ego. The ego. They know they said too
The
much. They know
arrogance.
they wished people. They know they wish people who didn't get vaccinated. They wish that they would die. They're the ones that said you shouldn't even let them in the hospitals. Their ego is such, and now people are dropping dead. Died suddenly. Now
Yeah.
people are dropping dead, and they don't want to admit anything. They don't want to acknowledge it. So it's like, oh, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Well, I think
you
the
know
term
what?
is called cognitive dissonance.
Dissonance.
Yes.
So
So,
explain that to people that like me that are dumb like a basketball.
well, I mean, I don't have. I can pull it up and tell you the definition.
Sure, why not? But
It's a term for the state of discomfort felt when two or more modes of thought contradict each other, and they can't solve it. They can't solve that in their head. So, of course, they're not going to be able to admit it.
Did you practice?
Like almost like a block.
I'm just curious. I'm the type of person I jump around a little bit. Did you practice just having just such a peaceful, calming voice, or is it just me, guys? I swear to God, like I listen to you talk and I just feel better about myself. Why is that?
I don't know. That's just the way I've always spoken. I don't know.
Am I the only guy that's ever said this to you? Any only person, or you've heard that?
No,
this
I've
before?
heard it a couple of
Okay,
times
all right.
before.
So it's
Yeah.
not just me, April, and I'm not just
Yeah.
kissing ass.
I
Even though
I do meditations as well. You can see
Okay.
that on my website. I do record meditation, so
well,
I can
meditate
put
on.
you to sleep for sure.
You're gonna meditate on helping me and my wife find a nice place in Florida.
I got you.
All
Definitely.
right, very
Seriously.
cool.
Give me a
No,
call.
So-
I'm serious too. Go ahead. I'm sorry, April.
No, Speedway says, or they blame Trump. And Avenging Pineapple said, those of us in the chat room are trying to chat, but you guys keep talking and talking and talking. You're really distracting and making it hard for those in the chat room to chat. Well, I don't think I've seen anything. Are you, huh? Those of
What?
us in the chat room are trying to chat,
Us brothers don't always have to be loud. That's true.
huh?
The artist, when is that?
The artist
Artist
returns.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
I don't
It's about my
understand. I don't
voice.
understand. I'm not really understanding what you're saying, Avenging Pineapple. But we are a podcast and we do have a guest, so that is where we are today. Usually when we have a guest, we tend to focus more on what the guest is bringing to the show.
Yeah, let them come
yeah.
in. I'm sure they got some good. I've seen some good comments and questions out here.
So I'm not really sure what's going on with the whole thing there, but
Caller number 3, are you there?
right,
Hold on.
exactly. Yes.
I am confused because are we getting reprimanded for giving too much content? Providing too much?
I don't know. I wasn't even sure if that was. He's saying all this talking is distracting. You do realize you're on a podcast, yes?
Yeah, it's kind of that's kind of what we need to do. Oh, we can do this. Ready, guys? Stop talking.
Go.
Say, wait, hang on. What would you like to say, Avenging Pineapple? The floor is all yours.
Yeah, it's on you. We're gonna give them 10 seconds. 9.
Go. I think you're in the wrong chat room then, because you're actually in a podcast here and it's called the A Show. And I think you're submitting your comments to the wrong place.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
You're trying to show.
Okay. All right. Enough. Anyway, I don't
I
care
have
about
no
that.
idea what's going on there.
So as we
I'm clueless.
So no, it is what it is. You can't appease everyone. I mean,
No. My dad used to say you can make some of the people happy some of the time, but not all of the people
it's like going to
all the time.
It's like going to a baseball game. Like, why are they throwing that ball around? Stop hitting that ball.
Hey, can you remove that person? I don't know what's going on there,
Nah,
but
it's on Twitch. I would have to terminate the Twitch channel. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We can all just screw him. Anywho, Derrick, we've been talking about what you do for about an hour. I kind of want to tie everything up in a bow before we get into some other stuff. We usually go about an hour and a half, but is there anything that you find, how can I put this? Anything that you find the most important about what you do, like something that's really powerful, something that maybe you can share with us that we can do on a daily basis to help better ourselves, help better our thoughts, our processes, our how we do things, everything from, and I'll give you an example. A lot of times when I'm going to work, I talk myself into having a bad day. Even though most of my days are fantastic, I actually love my job. I love the people. And April, you see me with the little babies and the dogs and everything. I love my job. I'm a people person. But sometimes, physically it's a tough job. And I talk myself into having a bad day, even physically. I say, oh man, I'm gonna hurt my back, and I end up hurting my back. Am I talking myself into this injury? Is this what's happening? Is there something we can do to kind of like not do that or reverse the polarity of I'm using Ghostbusters terms.
Reverse the polarity, absolutely. Well, I like to call it kind of shifting the balance, if you will, right? So if you think about it, right, throughout your day, you got your negative comments going on in your head, and then you got your positive comments going on in your head. So it's really about becoming aware of it. Number one, that's the first step. The fact that you're aware of it, then you have control to change it. So every time the negative thoughts come up, you need to counteract it with some type of positive thought. And if it's not a positive thought, then I would say the foundation of turning your day around is to go to gratitude always. That's the complete foundation, because I guarantee you, you can always find something to be grateful for. And you start there. And it can be something so simple. If you're having problems with your bills and your finances and things like that, you're thinking too much. You got to go simpler than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your health, your hello,
We're
marvelous
just saying.
wolf. Uh,
Hi, Wolf. Hi,
your
Alexa.
health, if you're grateful to have a love in your life, some type of support system, whatever it is, you're grateful just to be able to take a breath, just to be alive. You start there and you just build on top of it.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Big Wig. Big Wig.
Somebody said my wife left me. I'm
Big Wig
grateful
goes.
for
He
that.
goes. My wife left me, and he jumps in. I'm grateful for that. That's fucking great.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
And by the
I mean,
way, we're doing a
listen.
Valentine's Day episode next week that you guys will totally appreciate. It's the ins and outs and the technical business of dating online. So,
Ooh,
that's I'm the right person to be a co-host for that, because believe it or
that's why
not,
you are going to be the co-host for that.
I met my wife on freaking line,
Okay,
and
but wait.
I've never done that before. But yes, go ahead.
But wait, let Derrick finish.
Oh yes, I'm sorry, Derrick.
You
No, I
threw
think that
us
was
with what my wife left me.
no, it's all good. I was pretty much wrapping it up. I think it's just whenever you're trying to find, the question was, if can you talk yourself into a bad day? Absolutely, 1000%. But just as easy as you can talk yourself into a bad day, you can talk yourself into a good day.
I love what you said about gratefulness, and I think I might have pulled this up on this channel. We spoke about this a week or two ago, where there's a woman that I think she had turned 97 years old, and she had her granddaughter just interview her on TikTok, and she goes, "Grandma, how did you live so long?" And the grandmother goes, "Well, I eat what I like to eat." And she's eating a bowl of ice cream while she's talking about it, and she's enjoying this ice cream. She goes, "I'm not supposed to eat this, but I feel good. I'm healthy. I'm strong." She had great mind. And you know what she said? She said she thanks God every single day for another day. And then she said exactly what you said. She is grateful. At the end of every day, at the beginning of every day, she gives thanks for having another day, for opportunities.
Yes.
Whether they be negative or positive, you have opportunities, experiences. Isn't that beautiful, guys?
That's beautiful. And I noticed too, in what you said, I mean, she was literally affirming her health, her happiness.
Yep. She was so
She was
happy.
affirming all of that.
God, I'm sorry. Because I'm actually thinking about the video and seeing this woman. She doesn't look 97, by the way. God bless her. And I'm getting goosebumps thinking about how wonderful, like the glimmer in her eye, how wonderful and how happy she looked. And she's like, "Look, I'm not rich. I don't have all this, but I'm happy." And it's just, man, I wish. No, I don't have to wish. I can just. I'm about to say, I wish I can be like that. I can be like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You are like that.
I just blew my own mind.
See, that's another thing when it comes to using the power of words and affirming things.
Mhm.
One of the quickest way to affirm, to bring into existence and what you want, we were talking about earlier, how words turn to things, is putting the emotion behind the words. That's a very, very important part that I think a lot of people miss when they're just repeating affirmations and saying things to try to manifest. If you don't have the feeling behind it,
That's the energy, right?
that's the energy part. Exactly. You have to have the feeling behind it in order to make it manifest into reality.
That's why the news tries to bring all the bad energy out. You got to put
why they are.
put the good energy back in.
Guys, I don't want to be rude. I need to step away for a second. I am getting a knock at my door, and that never happens at this time.
That's okay.
Give me 1 second. I will back away. Okay, I'll be right back. I promise. I
We'll carry on the conversation.
We got this. So,
I removed the wrong person.
Yeah, you did.
I'll be.
So some of the things you were talking about on Saturday were super interesting when we were at the metaphysical meetup. So about how everything kind of ties into each other with current events and energy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what specifically I was talking about, but I mean, that is true. I think everything that's happening with the current events is energetic.
Hmm.
It's intentful. Everything that's done in social media is intentful. There's an intention behind it.
Hmm.
And they show you what they show you with a specific purpose behind it. And that purpose is usually to elicit some type of emotion from you. And typically, it's to elicit the emotion of fear because fearful people are a lot easier to control than people that aren't fearful.
Yes. Because fear actually stops you from being logic, and it blocks the part of your brain that makes logical decisions, the amygdala. So you can't, it keeps you from being calm, and it
Mhm.
keeps you from being logical. So if you can use fear to control a group of people or a person or an entire nation or the entire global population, you can kind of get them to do whatever.
Absolutely. And I mean, we could take control of that. We could take back control of that by
Ha-
simply
Yes,
not,
how?
yeah, by simply, well, not feeding into what they're trying to feed us, like realizing exactly what their agenda is and not, um, if you are going to watch the news, then you need to watch it from a perspective in which you're not being drawn into it and you're not emotionally being drawn into it. Like, so I can watch the news. I don't watch the news, but when I do tune into it every once in a while just to see, what the sheeple are tuning into, I'll tune in just to see what's going on, what they're talking about, what everybody's tripping about. Like, honestly, I watched the news so little, I didn't even know we were having a hurricane, the last hurricane that
Yeah.
we had until
Yeah. Somebody told you,
I
right?
went to go look for some toilet paper at the grocery store and none
The
left.
milk, bread, toilet paper, it's all
Yeah,
gone.
yeah, all the
Yeah.
essentials. So, you
And
know,
cool, awesome dude pointed out, he said, exactly. You see that in horror movies where people are so scared to the point where they can't think straight and they always make decisions that get them killed. That's a really good point. So,
that's really, yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
that is such a good point right there. Cool, awesome dude. So, we're talking about how fear controls people very easily, and it kills off the logical thinking in your brain by shutting off the amygdala part. That's that part of your brain that's the amygdala. So
Is that kind of the same thing when? And by the way, I apologize for stepping away. I'm glad I did. I needed that package. Is that the same
that's
thing
what
as
she
like?
said.
That is what she said. Unfortunately for her, I'm here. No, I'm
There
kidding.
you go.
But is that the same thing as like kind of when you're in a situation where let's just say you're getting held up and you get the adrenaline rush out of fear to try to grab the gun like an idiot instead of
Yeah.
It's why they say when you go into a fight, right? You're going into a boxing match. You're going. That's why fighters try to fuck with each other
Oh, I
publicly
know.
before they have their matches or their MMA. They try and say personal shit about each other
Psych each other out.
because they want them to go in emotional and full of fear because they're not going to be able to think clear. You're
Mm.
supposed to block all that out and go into a fight clear-headed and forget what the guy said about your wife or your kid or what they said on social media and
Right.
all the shit they talked, because if you let that cloud your vision, it literally clouds your vision. You can't see straight. And people seem to forget all these things.
Yeah, I did that when I was Derrick. I don't know if I used to box amateur, and I did that with one of my opponents. I slept with his mother.
Okay. That's a
Okay.
good tactic,
Well,
I would
that
say.
was probably
He was very angry.
that
Yes.
So
was
was she. So
well.
Well, speaking of
she was
of
very
age not
attractive.
of age not being a thing, so I started watching Tulsa Kings, right? So like you said,
Yes.
I heard that
and
was a good show.
and in the beginning
It's a freaking great
that,
show.
Sylvester
Love this
Stallone
show.
says he's like 75 big ones, right? And I stopped the show. I'm like 75. I'm like, there's no way this dude's 75.
Yeah.
I look him up. He's 76. I was
Oh.
like, no, like I know he's had like something
Everything.
done,
Oh, he's had a ton done.
Everything.
but he's still like he's like
Yeah, of course.
he's rocking.
Called
So like
steroids.
Steroids, they don't go away.
whatever, I don't care. He just looks amazing, right? So it's like, it's not an age gap. It's an age canyon to that young girl. Not young girl. She's probably 35, 40, whatever she is. I don't know.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
I'm not. So anyway, it made me think, right? So I have had a theory for a very long time that your mind controls your body with everything. So if you decide you're going to heal, you tell your brain, your brain tells your body, I'm going to heal, you will heal to the best of your ability, So I've had a theory for a long time that if you decide that you're not going to age, you're not going to age. So a lot of people, they look at me and they're like, you don't really age. You've I mean, if you've known me for a long time, they're like, you don't really age. You look a lot younger than you are. And I used to joke around and say, I think it's because I don't have kids. So, because when you have kids, you've got this constant reminder of this, that like, oh my God, they're getting older. I'm getting older. I'm getting old.
God, is that why I'm 24 and I look like I'm 50?
It could be.
I'm kidding.
So I'm actually 92.
Shit.
I know, right?
She could still get it, huh?
I'm
guys?
using the right soap.
You're doing the right thing there.
Fucking 92. If you look like that at 92. Listen,
but
if you look like that at 92, I'm divorcing my wife and I'm marrying you, April. That's bullshit.
My boobs still will. They're fake. They're not going anywhere. They're just
how old are those?
Right there. The boobs?
Yeah.
I think they'll be 2 years old.
Can we have a birthday for them? I swear to you, that would be hilarious.
We should.
Why are you laughing, Derrick? This is serious conversation here, sir.
Because I was imagining little birthday hats on them.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
That's
Happy
exactly.
birthday to you.
I can do that with mine.
No, they broke. I had a rupture with my boobs, and I did it. It was like 2020.
Were you wrestling?
And I fell. My dog was paralyzed, and she went one way, I went the other. She tripped me. I fell on the tile
on purpose.
Broke a boob. No, well, it wasn't. It was an accident, but I tripped. I messed up my elbow, my hip, and my breast implant broke. So these are, they just turned 2 years old.
They're toddlers. They're toddlers.
They are. They're the terrible twos.
Terrible two tits.
But they're the people's boobs. They're the people's boobs because I did a GoFundMe, so that there they are, the people's titties. Oh, nice. So that's why we do this.
Nice. Derrick, how impressed are you right now by this conversation we're having? I'm just wondering.
I really didn't expect to learn so much information.
I know.
About April actually on the show. This is good. This is good stuff.
Listen, man, we're like family here. When you come on, we treat you like
a GoFundMe for anything. I'm coming to this show.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, guys, I want to buy a house in Florida. GoFundMe.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway.
So thank you, Johnny, man. I appreciate it. So anyway, people are like, oh, okay, how come you don't age much? And I'm like, I feel like I do. My spine does, but
mind over matter.
I've come to the conclusion it's because I don't have kids, so there's not this constant, and it drives me nuts when people are like, oh yeah, I'm 40 years old, I'm so old. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
They're giving you love, April.
I know. Thank you. Very, very.
Are we serious? Like a leg period.
That was not the soundbite I was supposed to put up.
It's all right. We just run with it. There you go. So my point is that was just my theory, and people who are constantly tell themselves, I'm getting old, like they start looking old, right?
Yeah.
So I read this study the other day. Here's my point to this rambling.
Yes.
There was a study that Ellen Langer did from Yale. Mm-hmm. So she took a group and a control group. And the control group of 70-something-year-old men, she said she wanted them to sit down and focus on what it was like to be where they were in life 20-something years ago when they were in their 50s, and just really, really focus on everything about their life at that point, like hone in on it. Mm-hmm. And then she took the experimental group, and actually they found a what is it where monks live?
A mosque. Oh, no, mosque.
Not a mosque. I know I said that too.
What did you say?
Monastery. Yeah.
Monastery,
they found a monastery. They decorated it in the style of 25 years ago, brought back the phones and the CDs 25 years CDs, right?
Oh yeah.
They brought back all the same stuff from 25 years ago, and the guys lived there. The men lived there for X amount of time, the shag carpet, the whole deal. So,
yeah, baby.
And they put them back into that era, basically,
Yeah.
for X amount of time. And what was remarkable about this study is that literally both groups slowed their aging tremendously. Didn't matter about the ones infused in it, but the ones who were also just thinking about it, all the studies I'd done before, they were aging at a normal rate. All of a sudden, their aging slowed down tremendously and almost seemed like they were going back. So I thought that was fascinating. So I was like, yes, another one of my theories is true.
So wait a second. If I get a pair of my old Timberlands, maybe get my Rockaware gear,
Doc Martens
from the late 90s.
Yeah.
You telling me, and go out in the street and start, saying stuff like fresh and dope.
Yeah.
I can be young like you.
Word.
Or you have your cross colors on as well.
Oh, I had cross colored jeans, bro. I had purple. No bullshit. Purple,
Even
yellow.
flow.
I had a cross colored jacket, one side black, one side green. I was disgusting.
Don't believe the hype. What?
Yo, what are you doing?
Same jacket.
I think we both had the same jacket.
Yeah.
Did you have the old Batman hat with the plate on it?
Going to the jungle.
No, I had the little the little African hat, back in the 90s. That was
Oh, you had the thing?
yeah.
Thing?
I forget what you call it. But
that's
what I had. We were trying to take it back to Africa back then because that's what we thought.
Yeah. We used to wear the chain. What was it? The chain with the either
90s,
like my friends that were African American would have
the
Africa on it.
Yeah, the African medallion.
But I'm Puerto Rican, so we used to have the Puerto Rico gimmick on it. Oh hell yeah, man! It's good times.
Yeah.
April, what'd you wear, April?
I think. Well, I'm trying to think 90s, right?
Yep.
I think flannels.
All right, so you wore
flannels. I think I wore the Doc Martens, like in my in like, are you talking about like when I'm on my own time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was always kind of like a goth kid growing
We're always
up,
around. We're all around the same age, so
yeah. So I think it was like flannels, combat boots, that type of thing.
Yeah, I was like really baggy jeans.
Yes.
Football jerseys.
Yeah.
I
had
hair. Point.
I had hair.
Huh?
To April's point, though.
To April's point.
Words.
Mm-hmm.
Words matter.
You can make yourself feel older, look older with your words, and I think you can make yourself feel younger.
I think you can make yourself sick too that way, and healthy.
And sick, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, have you ever met somebody that's sick, like all the time?
Yes.
I mean, like all the time.
I do know people that way.
Yeah.
And they will tell you though, right? They will confirm it that they get sick all the time. They'll tell you that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get sick.
I love to talk about them. I'm not feeling well, and this is going, and that's going, and blah. More, yeah.
I do the opposite. I
want to take people and shake them like a baby. You know what I'm saying?
I've been telling myself, literally at least several times a week, that I'm healthy. My immune system is healthy. Like I affirm that, and I haven't been sick.
Mm-hmm.
Literally have not been sick. I'm talking cold, flu, none of that, in at least 15 years. Probably
15
longer.
years?
I'm just guesstimating. It's probably longer.
Wow.
Oh shit.
I get sick all the time, and I just don't focus on it.
I get allergies.
I get allergies too.
But yeah, I don't get sick.
I want whatever you're having.
Just affirm good health, my brother.
Oh, there you go. I was waiting for that. I do that softball. I just wanted to hit it out.
Add that to your mantra. Yes, I can, and I'm going to be healthy.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So switching topics for a second, speaking of words again, I think a Boston newspaper and a few others decided recently that they are going to get rid of human writers and move to AI, or they have moved to AI. So the articles we're reading were written by AI. So all they have to do is say, write an article about this, and it's spit out in like 2 minutes. So, or write an article saying, I don't know, they can denouncing, I don't know, whatever, anti-vaxxers is bunk, whatever.
Yeah,
they can do any of that. So they are able to get rid of writers and which pisses me off because I went back to school for my degree at Full Sail University. I got out 2019. All of this hit a few months later, like all of this hit. I now have like almost $50,000 in bills from school.
GoFundMe.
It's not real
right.
money.
I know.
It's not real money.
It's not real money, right? Yeah. Just digitize it anyway.
Federal Reserve notes. Those aren't real.
I know. So I
man,
mean,
yo, bro, I love you, man. I
That's
think
a
we
whole
need to talk a
nother.
lot
That's a
more.
whole nother.
We need to talk a lot more, man.
podcast.
that's right. Like, and then all of a sudden, like my job opportunities are just like done. You're like, we're just using AI anyway. Because I thought a lot of people thought that the one thing
So
that was
this is what I
safe,
say to that.
well, the one thing that was safe was human creativity, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I don't know. I don't know because, and listen, I've been diving down the whole AI thing this entire week, so this is a great topic for me.
I
right
know
now.
you were telling me about that.
I'm gonna sit back.
I have been. I'm drinking the Chat GPT juice.
Okay.
Okay, and if you're not drinking it yet, get on board right now because this is like Bitcoin level when Bitcoin was selling for like $300 a coin. That's my opinion on it. So to me, I think that the Chat GPT and that AI stuff actually, for me, it's actually brought my creativity level higher
Tell me what that is. A chat what?
Chat GPT.
Chat GPT.
And what is this again? Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
So, so it's a
Chat
that's
GPT is
watching.
it in George Pete Thomas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's a new AI system. Well, I guess it's been out since November. Like it had something like 1 million users in the first 5 days that it came online. But I think the key with this is how you command it. So the better that people get at requesting information from this AI, the better that you can get at whatever it is job that you do.
Okay.
I think
To me,
there's
it opens up the creativity. It doesn't really.
there's a video on this here. How long is this video? Oh, that's way too long. I'm not gonna play this.
I don't know, but do you have the video of the Pfizer guy? Flip it out.
What Pfizer guy?
The high up tech on Pfizer who admitted that they were planning morphing the virus just to have the vaccine on hand.
Is that on YouTube? I can
No,
find it.
I sent it to you. I think Twitter.
Oh shit! All
Cool
right.
kids have been using Chat GPT to get an A on their homework projects.
Have they really? That's
I don't
just
doubt it.
yeah.
I
That's
mean,
just smart.
I'm gonna go.
Listen,
You said it's
my
chat?
thoughts about school. Anyway, school is just simply something that for people to get indoctrinated.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, hey, if it helps you pass your assignment because the only thing in school that they care about anyway is your grade, fuck it, do it.
I would agree with you. Schools were created to make factory workers out of
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, not
Exactly.
entrepreneurs out of factory
I mean, we
workers.
broke the system. Like, take pride in that shit. The system's
Yeah.
broken anyway. Now we're going to break it even more and hopefully move on to an education system that is actually more beneficial to students. How about teaching students how to balance a checkbook or teaching
Yo,
them how to budget or teaching
can
them how to, think for themselves?
Can I tell you, Derrick, that I had a conversation. I went to have breakfast with my son. I was talking to him, right? My son's 14, first year of high school. And the conversation I asked him, I said, you know what taxes are? I just threw it out there. He's like, not really. I was like, they don't teach you, what it is to spend money or get a paycheck, or they don't teach them anything. Remember home ec?
Mm-hmm.
These kids
Yep.
don't even know how to sew a hole in their sock. They'll just throw the sock away and buy a new one.
I
How
know.
wasteful.
I've seen that. And I've seen they
I
can't
mean, I
even
would do that
hem their pants
too,
or
but-
repair a button.
Is this the I'm sorry, April, I don't mean to be rude, but is this the video that says heart attack, people dropping from dead from heart attacks?
No, Eva says YouTube took it down. So I guess what happened
I don't
was
see it.
a high up guy in Pfizer thought he was on a Grindr date, an online date with a gay
I can
dating.
find it. I know what you're talking about. Go
Gay
ahead.
dating thing. So he disclosed a lot of information during this date that was recorded by his date about he's a scientist for Pfizer. He's been there for a while. He's a Harvard graduate or Yale, one or the other, and he's written multiple peer-reviewed papers. So he's definitely the real deal. And
Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus, is that it?
No, it's a guy.
Bob Moran?
No.
Is it an African American young man?
Yes.
I have the video, but it's like 10 minutes long, and I found
It's very long.
Oh, so he took it down, you bastards.
Yeah, I'm sure they did take it down. But anyway,
I'm gonna find
he
it.
exposed Pfizer as manipulating the virus so that they could have the vaccines ready to sell. So that they have been planning to, and probably by planning, this probably already have been creating these variants. Personally, I think we're creating the variants with all the vaccines because, quite honestly, a virus has one job, and that one job is to live on its host. So when you mass vaccinate like we have, and we've never done that ever in the history of the world to this extent, when you mass vaccinate all the people, or 70, 80% of the people, the virus now has to change to survive on the host. So it's going to keep changing and changing and changing and changing to survive.
Guys,
So I think we are creating the variations by you keep vaccinating, keep vaccinating, keep vaccinating. Whereas in reality, herd immunity happens from getting the virus and having immunity to it, but we didn't allow anybody to do that. And then they wanted to get rid of the control group as quickly as possible because the control group was getting immunity to it and was making the vaccinated people look bad because they were getting it and giving it and ending up in the hospital. So the fact that they are manipulating this for financial profit in order to already have the vaccines ready, the boosters ready, was just so incredibly unethical and disgusting. And that was what has been all over the internet this past week.
okay, I'm gonna show you this video real quick, guys. We can watch it together. I found it. This is not easy for me to find.
Oh, and then and when he found out he was being recorded, he attacked the guy and had the guard and locked the guy in.
Let's check this out. You ready, guys?
Sure.
Here we go.
Hey there. Is this seat taken? You work for Pfizer. My question for you is, why does Pfizer want to hide from the public the fact that they're mutating the COVID viruses?
Is this real life? I'm literally a liar. I was trying to impress a person on a date by lying. This is absurd.
Please don't touch me. Well, this is not. By the way, don't tell anybody.
Someone who's just working at a company to literally help the public. You up. You really did. Please bring the cops as soon as possible. It was very unsafe.
Can you please unlock your door?
No, don't let them leave.
Please unlock the door.
Give me what is going on here?
Please unlock. Please unlock the door. Please unlock the door.
Really quickly, this guy's going nuts because during the date, I've seen the video of the date itself, Derrick. I don't know if you've seen it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, really?
Break it down real quick, April, so that we can continue to kind of break this down. And you can, April, you just put your hand up.
Oh, he's a sociopath, man. He just put it out there. He was just like, we're going to make so much money. He's like, yeah, it's going to be good for Pfizer. It's going to be really bad for the people, but it's going to be good for Pfizer. Like he said it all. If you haven't seen the video,
and then he got exposed at the end there.
He got exposed at the end. So yeah, you can find that video on Project Veritas.
It's taken down.
No, not on Project Veritas.
Are you sure? I couldn't find it at all.
You have to look directly on Project Veritas site. YouTube can do whatever they want on their site, but they can't touch Project Veritas.
Okay, Derrick, how are you doing on time, Derrick? I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's watch the rest of this guy lose his mind. It just brings joy to my heart for some reason.
We're trying to unlock the door. Unlock the door.
Oh, yeah, that was like
that was stiff.
That was the rest of the thing. The video will be on here. I'm sure. See how long that is.
Let's see. Hold on.
Pfizer not want the public to know that you guys are doing directed evolution.
Bro, what is going on here? I have like an interview.
I don't know, I'm figuring out doing these like flashbacks to that like sting organization of like those conservative people who would like randomly go into organizations and then like befriend people who work in these organizations and then report them, which happened to people at Pfizer. So it's like freaks me out when people start asking a lot of questions about work. It's so
Really? Oh, I'm sorry.
Why would that do this company?
Because I just want to know the answer.
You're not probably recording me. Oh my god, Jason, that'd be horrible. You better not be recording me or something.
You better not be recording me.
It was at this point he realized he
fucked up.
That grinder day must have been super hot.
I don't think do we need to go further into this?
No,
this pretty much like, holy shit.
Yeah, it just basically, again, we don't even have to go further even into this topic. It just confirms once again, conspiracy theorists 472 deniers 0. Like that shit's really happening.
That is,
as you said,
a Mortal
pandemic.
Kombat move was just over and just replaying in my mind.
So you have something near and dear to your heart to talk about, Ray?
I do. All right. So I'm going to play this little 2-minute video. Okay. And this is a story of a 29-year-old woman that posed as a teen to enroll in a New Jersey.
I thought you were going to talk about the immigrants.
Oh, yeah. The immigrants. Shit. All right. Can we
Which would you prefer?
Do I have to make a choice?
Yes. Ding,
Shit.
ding. No, actually, we got whatever minutes left. You can do both.
All right. I'll do this real quickly. I'll play this video first and I'll pull up the other one. And while you're giving your thoughts on what this story is, I'll pull up the migrant story. Cool?
Okay.
All right, very cool. I'm such a professional here. All right, give me a second. Let me just pull it up. Here we go. Sharing screen in 3, 2, 1, and it's going to play now. Check it out.
More than 2,000 students attend New Brunswick High School. Teenagers learning how to become adults.
Jersey.
Police say one of those students was no teen at all. She was 29 years old and lied on her birth certificate to enroll in school, sending a chill through folks around town.
It's very scary. I wouldn't want my kids in that situation. You know, it's very worrisome.
Police say Hee Jung Shin was arrested, and on Tuesday she was charged with providing a false government document. But school officials say she had been going to classes pretending to be a teenager for 4 days.
Why?
Why she did this, but other students at the school tell the local paper, New Brunswick Today, that she was making friends, and they fear she might have been trying to recruit girls for sex trafficking.
Oh, ouch.
Would say that's frightening.
I honestly would be really scared because I don't know, like having someone that's not from my school or knowing anyone around me coming to school that's older than me, talking to me and not having a good intention in my school and around my friends is just, it's frightening.
The kids have been told to stop all contact with her online or in person.
She had a fake birth certificate.
That's kind of scary because the schools usually do their job as far as records and so forth.
Do they really though? I just wanted to put that out there.
I think they do. They do the bare minimum required.
Derrick, do they?
Oh, I got so many questions.
All right, it's almost done. It's almost done.
So to know that right now is kind of a little nerve-wracking.
In a statement, the superintendent says they were following the law. A student requesting admission without being able to prove their identity must be provisionally admitted to the school. From that point, the student has 30 days to provide information that confirms their identity, or the district will have the option of declaring them ineligible to attend classes. The district says as soon as the school figured out they were dealing with a fraudulent situation, they called the authorities immediately. That said, they are reviewing policy and the law to figure out how to prevent this kind of thing from happening again.
I think that's
there's always one person that screws it up for everybody, and there's not one person that's just screwed it up for future students trying to get in.
So this was a young-looking Asian American female, and I've done some more research on this. The
You have
kids,
a picture of her?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up, but as I'm gonna get you a picture of her. So the kids themselves started saying like, "Hey," like, because she kept like, "Hey, you guys want to hang out? Hey, you guys want to hang out? Hey, you guys want to hang out?" And they started getting creeped out by this new student.
So wait, are they just going right to the darkest spot ever and just assuming that she might be recruiting for sex trafficking? I mean, maybe she's just a mental case with no friends.
Yeah, isn't there like a movie about this with Drew Barrymore?
I got some pictures for you guys. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's see
yeah.
what this
Okay,
student looks like.
Yeah, because it's this will help you out. This will help you out whether you believe this is a high school looking student. So here we go. All right, so let me get this one up right here.
Oh, I would totally believe she's
That's
in high school.
impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah,
100%.
Damn. Okay.
That's her.
Well,
29.
so-
Hold on, here's another one.
Girlfriend looks good for 29.
There's this with the little, little sweater gimmick around her neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think she would pass for 29.
So my question is,
What's up, dude?
like, what gave her away? Like, was she using like?
I think her husband came to the school and dropped off lunch.
She's using like this huge vocabulary words with her friends. Like,
Was she driving an
that's
expensive car?
stupendous. And they're like, well, you talk funny.
Was she using punctuation?
I don't know, man.
Did she enroll herself in the school?
Did she capitalize the fronts of the sentence?
Well, that's my question. Like, how the hell did she enroll herself into the fucking school?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
But let's say it was not a female.
Did she not speak using emojis?
I don't know how to do that. My son doesn't know how to do that.
I'm just saying that will it's sure giveaway.
It gets so annoying. But how scary would it be if it was a guy?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Why would she do it? You couldn't pay me enough to go back to school. Fuck that.
Can I say something without? It's gonna sound like I'm joking, but I'm not. What if she just wanted to get boned by like a bunch of high school kids that are horny as hell? I'm serious. Like, what if that
was my thought actually.
Really? I mean, I remember myself in high school, and I could not stop. Like, God forgive me, getting erections. It was like incredible.
Yeah,
so
go back to school and get as much dick as possible. I don't know.
She's 29, so it's not even like she's in her sexual peak as a woman. It doesn't happen into your late 40s.
Have you seen her husband?
What I've been told. So maybe she just really misses high school. And
maybe she wanted to have a baby.
Experience it all. Well, and let's look at the movie, right? The movie with Drew Barrymore, she went back because she was a journalist.
Maybe she wanted to have a baby though, and she couldn't, like, her whatever was infertile, and she knew I don't know. I'm just going there. I'm a writer. This is gonna inspire so many stories.
All right. This is if you don't have anything else, this is the main story that we're gonna end up on, and this is the one that has affected us here in the United States, I think, the most. Okay. Myself personally in New York City, I've been seeing an influx. And listen, I'm Latino, and my parents came over here. My great grandparents came over here. They did it the right way. You had to go through certain processes to become, to live in America. They didn't. I don't know if you guys know. I'm Puerto Rican, but I told you that my grandparents, like my great grandparents, are from Portugal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you that before. So they're Portuguese and Spaniard. So these people are coming over here, and I'll let this story play out.
I had to go through the immigration process with my ex-husband, who's Canadian, so it's not a fun process. So
I got into a little bit of an argument with somebody regarding this, and I want to see.
It's a difficult process.
It is. I'm going to see if
it's complicated.
It's complicated, eh?
It's complicated.
All right, here we go.
Turning now to the ongoing protests that are happening outside the Watson Hotel.
Yeah, protests. Migrants who have been staying there are still refusing to be moved to a new.
By the way, just raise your hand if you want me to stop the video and if you have any questions. Cool?
All right.
All right, here we go. 3 minutes long.
Shelter at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal.
Fox 5's Jessica Formoso joins us live from the scene. Jessica, where do things currently stand?
Good evening, Natasha and Steve. Well, for a second there, we thought things were going to be resolved by today, but that's not the case. A group of asylum seekers did get on that bus with the Commissioner of Immigrant Affairs. They went to the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal to see for themselves how things are there. But as you can see, they came back and they are still out here. Day 3, and these migrants are standing firm, saying
this isn't like there's some pieces of, I don't know, just stuff on the sidewalk. But anyway, sorry.
Oh no, it's bad. This is not just in New York. I'm going to tell you this. I live in a very quiet.
New York's a shithole.
I live in a very quiet, very nice neighborhood in Brooklyn. All houses. And once I go a little further up to the train stations, I've been seeing a ton more of people looking for day laboring jobs. It's like triple, but I'll play this. Raise your hand. Let me know when you want me to stop it.
to the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal.
There is not good. It's like a jail.
The men are being relocated to Red Hook so the city can make room at the Watson Hotel for asylum-seeking families with children. I'm not demanding they keep me here at the Watson Hotel, but to put me in a place where I can be safe, where there is privacy. All morning, city officials and an immigration advocate were out here talking to the men, trying to convince them to board the bus.
The most important thing for us is to battle the misinformation that's being spread.
These people are vulnerable, and these people has been manipulated by...
Time out. Can I say something, guys?
Sure.
These people are vulnerable. They've been manipulated. They made the choice to come here. Under what pretenses, I'm not sure. But my biggest problem with this, and I'll go to you real quick, Derrick, and we'll continue the video before we leave for the day. We have a problem here with homelessness, especially during the pandemic. Since 2020, I've seen a rise in homelessness, mentally unstable people, violent people being put on the streets, taken out of hospitals, but yet there's no homes for them, no warm places for them. Not even the Brooklyn Navy Yard, wherever the hell they want to send these the migrants. No place for them. But because of an agenda, because they don't want to look like assholes for saying, I'm gonna stop sharing this for a second, for stop saying, they came in and, oh, no. We are a sanctuary. We should accept everybody. And now our stupid mayor is crying, saying we don't have enough room or money. No shit. Derrick, what are your thoughts on this real quick before I continue the video?
Well, to me, it's pretty simple. Like, anytime there's some type of influx like this in our society, I think it's done on purpose. I think there's an agenda behind it. And I mean, that's pretty much all I could say about it. It's done intently, and it's to cause havoc in the system, essentially.
A distraction and weaken.
Yeah, it's another distraction. Yeah.
Yeah, I think though you have to remember something though. You got to look at the bigger picture here. At the end of the day, yes, we have our own homeless here, and they are not being taken care of. But this isn't necessarily an American homeless versus asylum seekers or immigrant situation. These people are here now, and the bigger picture is they're still human beings that whatever they were told, he said they're asking for privacy and warmth and safety.
Sure.
And these are things that anybody would want. So I don't
Every
think that's
human right. Yeah.
I don't think it's an unreasonable request to want to be somewhere where you're safe and private.
No.
So they're still human.
You know what pissed me off? And let's see if it plays out here. Stand by.
Because okay, wait a second.
Yes, ma'am.
You know as well as I do, we all know that our government treats its people like fucking shit. They don't even care about the homeless on the streets. So you know as well as I do, whatever information they're putting out there, let's be real for a minute. Whatever information they're putting out there is probably not true. They're probably going to throw all these people in one huge sportorium or something and say, here you go, and throw a handful of blankets in there and then throw some like oatmeal gruel in the middle of the thing and say, here, you've got food, you've got blankets, you got a roof over your head, you're good now. Because that's what they do, right?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because apparently most of the food that was given to them at the hotel, they didn't like it and they just threw it away. They were not happy with the accommodations in the hotel.
Did they say that though? Or is that just more of the story to try and turn against them?
Let's see, but apparently
you got to remember the media. You have to remember there's always you got to hear it directly from the people.
Apparently, allegedly, okay, maybe we'll hear it from these people here in the video. They like the food better at the shelter, but the accommodations are not ideal. Let's take a look.
Other things, and I don't want to comment on that, but hopefully they can go to wherever, and if it's not working, they have to speak up. Right? And then we fix it.
After some dialogue between the two, a group of men decided to hop on the bus with the commissioner of the mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs.
We're just encouraging them to take a look for themselves, do the commute, and they'll feel much more comfortable once they do that.
3 hours later, they came back and said they will remain out here in the cold.
All beds is together. The showers is out of the building. Is the bathrooms, everything is together. That's not privacy. It's not privacy.
Saying private hotel rooms are better than the congregate setting.
No water.
But the Venezuelan migrant says the city told them their options are limited.
It's just two options. It's just the Terrace Street with the shelter of the Terrace Street, or on the Brooklyn, in the Cross Terminal. Just these two options. If we don't take these options, they don't do anything for us.
So now with this,
you just got to remember, like most Americans have never experienced what the Venezuelans are experiencing. Most Americans have
Fair.
not been to
Very
Cuba.
fair.
Most Americans have never dealt with anything other than a cushy bed,
Fair.
heat on demand, air conditioning on demand, running water they can drink right out of the tap. So
Right.
these people have already been subjected to some of the harshest, shittiest conditions in their own country,
Mhm.
and they're hoping to get something a little bit better. So now they're trying to rip them out of a place where they do have some privacy and some running water and
Right.
send them to an area with the no, he just said the bathrooms aren't working. There's no hot water in New York in the winter.
Yeah.
Then there's nothing there, and they're just throwing them in a room. It's basically like what they came from.
But then why are
So-
you making, I'm sorry, April, but why are you making promises to these poor people that they just want to see? This is the thing. I don't have a problem with,
Mm-hmm.
with these migrants coming, looking for a better life for them and their families.
Mhm.
My problem is they got sold what my father used to call a wolf ticket.
Of course.
Okay. Saying that, oh no, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry. There is no room. I'm sorry. New York is packed.
I don't disagree with that.
New York is packed. And now, hold
I'm
on.
just saying, see it from their perspective is
I
all.
totally listen. I'm not an asshole, and I have a heart, and I genuinely feel heartbroken for these people in the streets, but they're going to end up in the streets. So now the homeless issue that we have here in New York City
It's going to become a homeless violent crime issue with a lot of gangs.
And then we don't know half, Derrick. We don't know half. Like, yeah, these are the people that we know of.
Right.
What about the migrants that came into the United States? We have no idea how many thousands of people crossed the border, and we have no idea who they are, what they are, what.
Well, now you
what
guys
gang
understand why Ron
affiliation.
DeSantis was shipping them back out.
All right, I'm sorry, Derrick. Go ahead. This is an emotional thing for me because I'm a New Yorker. You know, I'm born and raised, almost 47 years here in this city.
And now
I've
you know
never
why.
seen
Now
this.
you know why Derrick keeps really calm and doesn't put emotion behind his words when he's upset.
Derrick, please.
So what's the question? What's the question to me?
The question
I
is,
look, Bigwood says you can't set yourself on fire to keep people warm.
oh wow.
Mhm.
The question is, Derrick, like, am I wrong for being upset at this situation? I feel frustrated for them.
No, you're not wrong.
And I also feel frustrated for the homeless. Like, I get on the train every single day. I get frustrated for the homeless people that have been in the streets, been living in the streets. They have to kind of make their life in the streets. And you have the migrants coming over here, and you know the fact that they were even put in hotels is mind blowing. Did you know that
That was surprising, actually.
Check this out. Check this out, guys. Did you know that they are trying to set aside actual apartments that can go to low income families and some middle income families just for the migrants, not for the homeless, for the migrants, instead of giving them to families that might need them that pay taxes here.
Okay, let me ask you something real quick. See how angry you are right now?
A little bit.
What are we learning from this? I'll tell you what we're learning from this.
Everything is fine. See the name behind me? Oh.
No, here's what we're learning from this. Those fucking people are sticking together until they get what they want. And because you hear this, Americans, you stupid fucks?
Yes.
They are sticking together to get a higher quality of living, and the government is giving it to them because they're afraid of them. People should not be afraid of the government. The government should be afraid of the people. So you have immigrants coming in here, migrants coming in here who have never been in this country. They don't know how this place is run, and they're actually teaching the government how to treat them. We are treated the way
people.
We are treated the way we let people treat us. And they are teaching the government, you will not take this away from us. You promised us this. This is what we want. Do you understand, Americans, you stupid idiots who love to talk about your fucking rights, and then you fold like a wet piece of paper when it comes time to standing up for them? Take a page and understand and see what the migrants and the immigrants are doing, and maybe understand that this is not a black, white, female, male, transgender, abortion, no abortion thing. Start sticking together. You don't even have to like each other. Stand together. I don't care if you vote Trump, Biden, freaking Gary Johnson. Stand together and we will get something done.
What about Bob Dole? Can we vote for him? Is he alive still? Sorry, Derrick. Your closing thoughts, and I would like you to.
I think that deserved an applause. First of all, can we do the applause?
Yeah, I got the
applause button.
All right, calm down, guys. Enough. I gotta cut him off. I'm sorry, Derrick, please.
Someone said Bob Dole died last year. He's still probably a better president than what we
Closing
have right
thoughts?
now.
My closing thoughts. I mean, I agree with everything April just said there.
Right?
Sticking together, right? That's exactly what we have to do. Collective consciousness. That's what we were talking about earlier in the show.
Beautiful.
Right? The more that we can come together on just the simple stuff. Remember that we are spiritual beings living a human experience, right? Forget all the black, the white, the Puerto Rican, the black, whatever you want to, whatever they've told us that we need to classify ourselves as. Forget all that.
Labels.
It's
Just to
all
point
about
that you're out
labels.
different.
And that's what we always constantly get caught up on because they keep putting it out there to trip us up, you know? So forget the labels, have conversation like this, healthy conversation, discussion, figure out where the other person on the other side is coming from. Everybody has a different perspective and they need to hear yours. We need to hear each other. Period, point blank. We need to hear each other.
Amen to that, brother. I'm going to throw up this website. I'm going to throw up each website, each individual website, and each contact that you provided for me. And I want you to give a description of what it is, where they can find you, so on and so forth. So right here we have thirdeyecoaching.com. Tell us a little bit about that before we go.
Sure. So that is my coaching website. You know, you can go there. I'm starting to do blog posts on there now, just about communication and all different types of personal development type of things. You can schedule a free consultation on there with me. I'm going to be posting on there. I'm going to be posting just personal development things on that website just for people to learn for free. So that's thirdeyecoaching.com. It's all about thinking from a higher perspective, from your third eye, so to speak. So,
all right. And then we have this contact here. Can he personally contact you? Do they have any questions here at DerrickChappell@gmail.com?
Yep.
Without an E.
No E on the end there.
No E on the end.
Yeah, no Dave Chappelle. You're gonna contact the wrong Chappelle. He'll tell you that other Chappelle is probably tell you go fuck yourself. Not this one.
Probably so. I'm not going to tell you go fuck yourself
unless you deserve it. And then we have this podcast that you're looking to reinvigorate, restart.
You need to. You need to. You should.
Tell us a little bit about tell us about why you started this podcast really quickly and what you're looking to grow it into.
So I started the podcast really, I think it was more of a kind of a self-help type thing, right? I was able to, I feel like emotion is just one of those things that people don't really talk about, although it affects literally every single thing that we do.
Right.
I was coming out of a divorce at the time that I started this podcast, and just you have all these insightful things that you go through whenever you go through a major transition in your life, right? And so people are doing that all the time, going through major transitions that affects them emotionally in different ways. And I have different guests on there that will talk about just different modalities and different self-help techniques out there that you can do to work on your own emotions and your own personal development.
Awesome. And lastly, you have DerrickChappell.com. So
yeah, DerrickChappell.com is just really my real estate website. So I'm a licensed Florida realtor. If you ever need to sell or buy a home like yourself, my friend, you can go to that website, look at listings, and also.
What about renting? What about renting a home in Florida? Do you do that as well?
Renting as well. I can help you with renting as well. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Derrick, my God, April, this has been a lot of fun. I hope you have fun, Derrick, with us.
I had a blast. This was great. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
This has got me like juiced up to get my podcast started up going.
Good.
So I appreciate it.
Good.
Oh, that's good. What's up, April?
And before we go, I wanted to mention somebody put something. They said that if the people had fought in their own country like they do here, they would have gotten somewhere, and that's entirely possible. But you have to remember, in this country, we have guns. A lot of countries don't, and they have a lot of corruption with the law and the government and the military in other countries, where they will shoot you in the streets like dogs, and actually do shoot the dogs in the streets and places. They also have, it's called arbitrary enforcement of local laws, kidnapping and terrorism, wrongful detentions. and things like that. So that's what's sort of been going on there. That's why people have been fleeing. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying one side or the other is. There's a lot of wrongs going on here, a lot of unappealing situations, but I do believe they could be fixed. The problem is people need to take some of the money out of it and put the morals and the ethics back into it. So we're a country of law and money and profit instead of morals and ethics. So we have to figure out the bigger picture issue. So speaking of that, next week, make sure you tune in. We have a fun Valentine's Day podcast for you with Ty Whitman. He runs a show. It is breakingyourchains.com. I did his podcast this week. I think you'll actually really like that very long podcast we just did. Pop over to breakingyourchains.com. It was a lot of fun, a very interesting podcast. We're going to do an abbreviated version of that here next week with Big Ray. It will be a blast, and we hope that you guys will be part of that as well. So thank you for being here very much, and we will see you next Wednesday. Mwah.
Wait a second. You said next week. That's the 15th?
No, next week's the 8th.
The 8th. All right. The 15th, guys, I will not be here.
I know.
I'm giving you a heads up. You're distracting me.
I know. I'm saving all the political stuff for when we have our guest co-host, and we're saving the dating stuff for you.
Okay, cool. So I won't be here the 15th. I got things to do that day. So
yeah, I like your wife because you're having a big old date that date.
Guys, I love dating my wife. She is, I love her.
It's Valentine's date day for you.
She's an effing hottie. I love her so much.
Yeah,
but anyway,
you did punch up on that one.
I did punch
he's
up.
using that NLP techniques already. Look at him.
Goddamn right, brother. Let me tell you that. But she is. Listen,
April's hot for her age. Fuck you. I'm hot for any age.
Goddamn right she is. But anyway, you know what?
Thanks, Shelly, man. You're awesome. Mwah.
Guys, thank you so much. Colin will be filling in for me the 15th. Yes, Colin Wysong. That son of a bitch will be here.
We love Colin.
So thank you again for joining us. Derrick, Chappell, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
this has been
Thank you for having me, guys.
an absolute pleasure. I know people say it all the time. Oh, we want to have you back on. I want to have you back on. I really would like to, especially when you're ready to launch that podcast. We will talk off air. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the A Show here with April Hunter. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.